Hey everyone. So let me turn this down a little bit more. I'm gonna get started with the community read. We just had Valentine's Day just passed, so I feel like, just tapping into some of that loving energy that is in, I guess, the air right now. I'm gonna be using my Everyday Witch Tarot and my Everyday Witch Oracle. Hi, Luke. I'm super excited because I have not used this in a while, but it popped up in um, as one of the decks I chose in my Valentine's Day tag. So I was inspired to pull it out for you guys. I forgot how hard this oracle is to shuffle. Okay, Luke, it might just be you and me tonight, which is fine. I'm super hungry and I want to go cook my late dinner. All right, let's get this all shuffled. I'm going to move this off to the side. I was going to, and then I left it downstairs. Hi, Nicolene. Welcome. I am just doing the community pull, so just getting this deck all warmed up. All right, let's pull our first card. Let's see here. We have fire magic. Ooh. So I like that, I was mentioning that Valentine's Day just passed, whether you celebrate or not. There's a lot of love and just that kind of energy in the air right now. Let me fix my mic real quick. And I know I'll test it out later, Luke. So we have fire magic, which and we have these like lovely red candles here. So I feel like there's just a lot of passion and love that's in the air. And if you are a witch, I always like to throw that in there for anyone who is watching. Maybe this is your sign to do a little like passion or sex magic with your partner. And if you're single, you can do that with yourself as well. Let's pull another card. Let's see. We have make a move. Okay. So I don't advocate for like love spells on people unless they are like you're already in a relationship and they're consenting, but this could be your like sign to do a little bit of glamour magic on yourself and then make a move if there's someone you have been eyeing, or like I mentioned before, if you're already in a relationship, you can do something together and then make those moves together. And then we have for our last card, there we go, prayers and wishes. Sorry, it's all, so I don't use this deck very often because it's very glary, but I like the progression, right? So we have a little bit of like magic that you're putting out, gonna make a move towards making your wishes come true. So whatever that might look like. But I love the story this kind of tells. This deck is a very solitary in the oracle. The people are by themselves, but just showing like the progression from it looks like, nighttime, it's starting to get it could be dawn or dusk, but in this case dawn, and then we have our sun coming up across the horizon. Really like this deck. I might pull some cards from it. I'll see if I am so inspired to do so. All right, Luke, go ahead, put your question in the chat. If you guys did anything fun for Valentine's Day, let me know. I actually had dodgeball, so I did something that I loved. And I got to, our team won last night, so not only did I get to do something that I loved, I got to do it well, and our team succeeded. Woo! Forgot these cards are so slippery. Thank you, Nicolene. Let's see, Luke, how you can strengthen your bond with your boyfriend. we have the Hanged Man. So I actually stopped using reversals in this deck. So if you've been on my lives before, you might see me flip some cards around. That's just because it's based off of the energy I see in the cards. All right, we have the Hanged Man, ooh, the Six of Cups, and then we have the Hierophant. So you have two major arcana cards here. So I'll start with the Hanged Man. I would probably say that the biggest advice overall is to try to do things that are a little outside of your box, like things you might, if you reflect back on past relationships, like what patterns did you fall into and how can you break those patterns. Now doing so might mean that you're giving up some semblance of a comfort zone. So this could mean doing things that might seem a little opposite of what you would normally do, right? And then on the other side, we have the Hierophant. So are there welcome, Sil. No rush. For the Hierophant, are what there's, so in this card it's harder to see, but there's an element of sorry, Luna wants uppies. 1 second. Come on, you ridiculous little thing. Okay. So, with the Hierophant, there's this element of tradition that the Hierophant gives off, but then also you can see this more in the card is like learning from others. So, what are some things that maybe you can pull in from other good examples of relationships that you can make part of your, going on from now, part of your tradition with your boyfriend? And that's a fun way to bond with people, is creating like things that you like to do. It allows you to open up, and like you kind of have these things that you look forward to together. And like I mentioned, one of the key things is make sure you find good examples of like healthy relationships that you want to emulate. And then here with the Six of Cups, so I talked about how can you break out of the box that you might have been in previously. I wonder if it reflects on, like, I know you do inner child work, Luke, so maybe reflecting back on the things that really just help you feel connected with your inner child, and things that maybe you haven't done because it doesn't seem like the standard thing to do, I guess is a good way to put it. So maybe reflect back on those things and figure out what it is that you can do that's a little outside of the box, but also makes your inner child really happy. And I think in being able to do that, you'll be able to build a better connection with your boyfriend. Yes, Luna, I agree. Can you scoot over? Okay. Goodness gracious. Can you hear her? No, maybe not. She doesn't purr very loud. Um, but good luck. Welcome to the queue, BB. Okay, Nicolene, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Yeah. And just to you're welcome, Luke. Just to clarify, do you just mean like trials and tribulations, or is this like a legal trial? I just want to make sure that I'm not like misinterpreting what you're saying. BB, thank you. You can use, let me see if this will work. Okay, just a difficult time. Ooh, I burnt some incense before doing this, and I'm like struggling. Okay, let's see. How can you help your partner through this current trial? Whoops. Thank you for catching this card, Luna. We have the Seven of Swords. Let's see what else we have. King of Pentacles. And the High Priestess. Okay. Let me straighten this up. So you have the Seven of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. I think a lot of being able to help him is going to be figuring out how to get him to stop standing in his own way. Um, so a lot of times when the Seven of Swords pops up, it's usually being like, it's like there's like this deceptiveness that's going on. So not saying that he is being deceptive. I'm just saying he is perhaps in denial about how things are really going. Thank you, BB. Let me know what you used so I can double check. And I'll pull some Oracle and Tarot for you. You'll have a little bit of a longer reading. So I have to wonder if he's kind of a little bit in denial about what's going on, hasn't fully accepted the situation, and because of that is not really like managing the situation in any kind of way. So I really see the King of Pentacles is probably more like this, and that represents probably him, and then the High Priestess is probably more your energy, and I'll just kind of talk to it and you can decide for yourself. But the King of Pentacles is generally the most like down to earth, just logical, I like to say well-rounded king, in the sense that he imbues a lot of the stability of that earth energy, but still very thoughtful and can be kind of wise, just from that king energy. But the problem is it feels reversed. So it feels like there's a lack of stability. He's kind of maybe a little flighty, goes from one thought to the next, and instead of just focusing at the task at hand, will kind of just put it off and distract himself with literally anything else. And a lot of times it just boils down to him wasting time on things that are unimportant. So I think that if you can help him at least ground himself and just understand the situation, accept the situation, that's probably where you need to start with building that strong foundation there. And then we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is very intuitive. I feel like when someone is in this kind of mindset, it's really hard to get them out, and you can't like push too hard. So I feel like the High Priestess is just reminding you to be intuitive about how you navigate this situation. Trust your gut, trust your instincts on this. If you are more spiritual, I will say the High Priestess is probably suggesting that you can maybe work on, like, if you like to do spell work, you can probably do something that would help bring groundedness, centering, that kind of thing. If you're not into that side of things, and maybe it's just leaning more towards intuition, it could also suggest that maybe you can connect with you if you work with guides or ancestors, allow them to help, and you have kind of like the physical stuff, the mundane stuff that you're doing, and then you have your team helping you with the spiritual side of things. So that way there's a balance. And again, if you're not into the spiritual side of things, it's fine. It's just more so a suggestion of being able to in that case just trust your instincts and trust yourself in navigating the situation with your partner. Welcome, wife. Oh, I got it, BB. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully things are, okay. Okay, bye, Luna. Oh, I got it, BB. Okay. So So I don't generally do like how people feel about you, but I can just like say like the energy that you give off to people, if that makes sense. So just the energy that surrounds you that people will perceive. Um, Let me pull an oracle card just to kind of get an overall like, ah, I would say probably not too bad. You have healing waters. It's a pretty nice card. So I don't know what you were doing before, but maybe I mean if you were expecting some sort of mm, like too big for their britches kind of thing from people, maybe not so much. At least let's see what the tarot has to say. Wheel of Fortune, Five of Cups. Yeah, you're welcome. And Four of Wands. So this feels more like this based off of everything that's going. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Five of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Four of Wands. So I'm just gonna like overall just say that I don't I don't think that you probably give off really like fun celebratory vibes, because obviously this is probably like a huge achievement for you, and I think people are perceiving that, but not in a negative way, like in a very positive way. So it's like, uh to put it simply, like they can see that you're like on the up and up, you're feeling yourself, and people really want to celebrate you. That's literally, that feels like the summarization. So I mentioned before that you have healing water. So I wonder if you know, the journey to get to this point might have been a little difficult, perhaps not the easiest, and maybe it what's a good way to put it, maybe it kind of stood between you and like friendships or your relationships and stuff like that. But sometimes, you know, I think people understand now, because we live in such a grind culture, they understand that it's not like a malicious thing. It's just that they have to back off, and it kind of is what it is. But we have the Wheel of Fortune, which suggests that, you know, you're in a high period right now, even though life is a cycle, things like that. They understood that, you know, you were cycling through the more difficult, like trudgy, I guess, parts of the journey, but they're recognizing that things are turning for the better for you. And then I see that too a lot in the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups generally is, um this is the card where people tend to overly focus on the bad things without realizing that there are good. So in reverse, it's like the opposite. It's really like recognizing the good things that are happening, and a lot of times this means that so one of the things that the Five of Wands sometimes indicates is like the return of loved ones around you, but I think it's a mutual thing. So it's not them returning, or not just them returning, it's you guys returning together, because now you have like that chance to be like to breathe and settle and finally just like go with the flow, which I see a lot of that with this water here in the oracle card you have. So I think, as you know, with our Wheel of Fortune, things are better and they're high, and then people are starting to realize that now maybe we can make time together again. We can pick up where we left off and do all of these things. And then ultimately, with this Four of Wands, the Four of Wands is one of the I would maybe objectively say the most celebratory card in tarot, where you just, it's all about celebrations, coming together with community, with the people you care about. Um, and the thing about the wands is there's a lot of movement and energy there. So I feel like, you know, as we leave this era of the cups, like we have water that does flow, but very slowly, usually more steadily, I should say, things start to pick up. So if it hasn't yet, if you haven't felt that yet, I wonder if you're still in this like phase of just the energies transitioning around you, where people are starting to recognize like, oh cool, like we don't have to, back off and let them do whatever they're going to do. We can finally go out, celebrate, or just come back together and celebrate. So yeah, and I'm sorry it was so difficult. Life kind of sucks like that sometimes, but it sounds like that it might have been worth it. But I will say one of the things, um in this, you mentioned in your question about like ex friends. um I wouldn't invite anything or anyone back who was toxic to you in any kind of way. But if you had people where like the distance just became somewhat permanent and it was because you couldn't keep up with each other, that's the area that you should explore. And I think that's part of the healing. Because honestly, and this is me putting my own 2 cents on this, there's no reason to worry about healing things that were previously toxic unless you feel like it was mutual and um there were like, if you reflect back on it, you think there's something you could have done differently. That's the only time. So just to keep that in mind. But I think honestly, overall, just to summarize everything, you have some good energies around you. I think people are recognizing that. So just be willing. The only thing not in this reading, even though it's a 3 card reading, so perhaps that's why, but um there's no like communication, so that might be something that's up to you to take that foot forward and reach out to people, especially if you feel like you've kind of gone silent on people that you do really care about. So that's just my 2 cents on top of what I'm seeing from, well, based off of the cards that I felt like were missing. Yeah, that's that 5 of Cups in reverse energy. People are coming back, but I mean, if you feel like it was just like a silence between you guys, then maybe it's worth reaching out. Ultimately, though, that's up to you to decide, based off of what you think is good for you or not. I mean, just don't go reaching out for relationships that have always been bad. But if they went bad because, you're struggling and perhaps they were struggling, it oh, sorry, I forgot to press this. So just ignore that in the chat. Streamlabs is gonna call you back. But yeah, I think you have some good energy, so enjoy it. You're welcome. Thank you for tipping. Wife 22, you 222. Oh, that's, I just got your username. Wife 2B. That's so cute. Yeah, thank you. If you guys are enjoying your readings, please like the video. I appreciate it. Helps with the algorithm. You're welcome, BB. Good luck and be patient with that journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's definitely something you can start to dip your toes into. You and your boyfriend are no contact? Are you guys actively dating or is he an ex? I just asked because the information is conflicting. Yeah. But let's see what the energy is between you guys. Okay. Thank you for explaining. Okay, we have the 5 of Pentacles, we have Justice, and then we have the 4 of Cups. So I'll just gonna say it's not great between you guys. But I would say that it's not positive, but not like horrible. You're kind of in like it can go either way. You're kind of like what I always say, you're like on the precipice. You can go left or right down this journey. So we have I'll start in the middle with justice, since that's your only major arcana. So the justice card suggests that, and it's funny you mentioned balance, because the justice card is about finding that balance. And the thing is, I feel like if you can't find that balance, it leads sort of to this energy. And if you can, it's like soft movement into a possible better direction. Um, like I have to wonder like if there just wasn't like an equality that was happening in the relationship, like um that just really tipped the scales for you guys. And on one side, this is like, oh yeah, you said you're Sagittarius and Libra. Um so this side we have the Five of Pentacles, and this card suggests that one or both of you were not getting the support that you needed. And when I say one or both, I mean that, and sometimes the lack of support is mutual. It's just the support, it means something different to everyone, right? So for some people the support could just be like helping with chores, and other people it might be like helping with finances, whatever that might be. So there wasn't a balance there in that regard. um and then I wonder too, actually I see this a little differently now that I'm talking through it, but on the other side we have the Four of Cups. I wonder if so this side feels more physical, like either time spent or money together, where it didn't feel like there was an equal balance of energy being put into that. And then on this side, this feels more like the emotional things, where emotionally it feels like there was a lack of balance, like one person wasn't putting as much as the other person into this relationship. So I feel like if you think there's no resolution in this though, I mean, based off of your question, this is just the overall energy that I'm getting. um but I think that maybe taking a break is a good thing. It just depends on this, like if you can identify ways, and this isn't justice really signifies to me that it's not just a you thing, so it's hard because you guys are separate. But if there's a way to find that balance, one of the things I mentioned in a previous reading was that there are no swords, so there's no communication happening. Perhaps this is suggesting that there needs to be. Trying to just look at her a little bit. Yeah, I would say that maybe there needs to be a little bit of communication, and what I mean is just like purely discussion, not like just trying to pick up where you left off kind of thing. But yeah, for sure. I think the energy is a little rocky right now, leaning towards less positive than positive. So this will basically be down what it boils down to. And um and I guess that's up to you if you want to put the time and energy into it, because I know it's a new relationship. So if you also have to reflect if it's worth. You're an optimist. Yeah, and there's just no like actual positivity happening. Cause like, okay, like look at this card, right? You can see this person's coming in and it's like trying to offer up their love, and this guy's just not seeing it. Totally in the blinders, just so that one person's putting in all this time and energy and getting nothing out of it. So I think that if you can find ways to figure that out, then I'm sure I'm sure that you guys can maybe start to get on a better foot, but it's going to take some work. At the core of things, you mentioned it before I even got to this card. You guys got to find some balance. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. The queue is empty. I think I might like call it an early night and make some dinner. um I know, Sil, you were hanging out. If you wanted a reading, let me know. Yes to dinner or yes to a reading? Okay, I see. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for hopping on. So, as always, my lovely moderator, I'm going to get off early tonight. I need to build up my audience again after taking such a long break over the holidays, but I'm happy for. Oh yeah, we'll be live on Sunday. Okay, Luna. The 18th. I had to pull up the calendar because I couldn't remember. We'll be live Sunday the 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you join us. All right, Luna, I'm almost done. She's in rare form today. Thank you for the reminder. All right, guys, I am gonna get off of here and I will see you guys next week.